My boyfriend and I had been together since November. Things were serious. We talked about moving in together. We both said this was long-term, that we were in it for good. This summer, he wanted us to go on vacation to his mama's friend S house in Hawaii with him and two of his best friends. One a guy, one a woman. We'd been planning it all spring. Then the guy friend dropped out, leaving just the three of us. A few days later, the female friend called my boyfriend and said she didn't feel comfortable going if I went to. She said she didn't know me well enough and didn't want to be a third wheel. And instead of pushing back or finding another solution, they decided to change the plans entirely. To make it just the two of them, going to Costa Rica instead. I didn't even know about any of this until I asked my boyfriend what week I should take off for Hawaii. That's when he told me. She didn't want to go if I went, so they were going without me. I tried to explain how hurtful it felt to be uninvited from a trip I was originally going on, especially with a woman I had never met. We settled on the idea of going to Copenhagen together later as a sort of make-it-up-to-me trip, and I told him I wanted to meet her first, so I could feel better about them going. We went to see her and her boyfriend for the 4th of July. I was friendly and outgoing. I tried to connect, but she was cold. Even my boyfriend noticed and said he was surprised. I left feeling even less comfortable about the trip. When we visited his family later, they were shocked and told me they'd be furious if they were in my shoes. That triggered another conversation with him. I asked him to help come up with a way to make me feel better and more secure. He said he'd never do something like this again, but that didn't help. This trip was already happening. He half offered to cancel, but the tickets were paid for, and I didn't want to force it and create resentment. I asked again for ideas, but he kept asking me to just tell him what to do. Days passed. Nothing changed. The morning of the trip came. His big gesture was buying me a bag of peanut butter cups. Then I drove them both to the airport. I felt so disregarded. The day I dropped him off, I was too upset to respond to his texts. The next day, I sent him a long message saying I didn't feel safe or loved in the way this trip had been handled. I'd be dropping his things off and leaving his keys with a neighbor. He called, but didn't leave a message. Later, he sent me texts saying he didn't understand. He kept calling and texting all week, but I didn't answer. When he got home and saw his stuff was gone, he got frantic. Calling, texting, leaving me voicemails. He said he didn't accept the breakup because he had no say in it. That made me angry, so I sat down and wrote him a letter. I told him the time apart had made me realize we shouldn't be together. I explained that from the very start. The trip was made in a disrespectful way, that his friend gave him an ultimatum, and he picked her. That he didn't try to have us meet beforehand, didn't encourage her to bring someone else, and didn't consult me. I told him about the history between them that I had heard, how even her boyfriend had needed time to be comfortable with my boyfriend. But when it came to me, I was just shut out. I brought up the time he spent over an hour in my room. During a dinner, I had cooked 4 guests to pick flights with her, ignoring my repeated asks for him to come back. I reminded him how I'd asked to meet her to feel better. And when I finally did, she and her boyfriend were cold. How his own family thought the trip was inappropriate. How we'd gone over my discomfort repeatedly, but he never found a way to address it. I told him I didn't want to make him choose between her and me. I wanted him to have his friend, but I was leaving. That I loved him, but I wasn't going to spend my life fighting to convince him this was a problem. That I wasn't happy, and I didn't need his permission to end it. He replied with an apologetic email, taking responsibility for most things except anything related to his relationship with her. He said the only thing making the trip bad for me was my own perspective. I told him trust has to be built, and he put too much strain on ours too soon. He agreed, apologized again, and that was it. We ended things on an amicable note. But this style of relationship doesn't work for me. His responses didn't change or heal anything, and I stand by my decision.